Stay hydrated, don't be racist, wash your hands, and love yourself. Hey everyone, Toya Washington here. It's Tuesday, it's another episode of the Toya Talks podcast. We're gonna talk on something a bit different, but still related to the world of work. That's what I've called this B.A.M.E. And I need to speak on something because I feel like things like this is what I need to use my platform to also speak on as well, and highlight a lot of these issues that I feel like are going unaddressed, or if they are being addressed, people are not giving it the due respect it needs. So the other day I was speaking to one of my friends, and Murad Morelli is a YouTuber, and I came across him because he does reviews on reality shows, so especially Love Island. I really actually enjoyed his reviews on Love Island, and after that I kind of didn't really watch him that much anymore, but he would come up on my feed. So obviously we know that as black women, or as black people actually, we've had a really difficult week this week where we're having to constantly be confronted with the issue of colorism that is endemic in our culture, endemic in our society. And for a lot of us black women, we're truly triggered by this topic for so many reasons, albeit that we're directly affected or we have, watched somebody be affected by it. Either way, the historical foundation of where colorism comes from has come to the forefront. And for me, the issue I have with Murad is, use your platform what you like. I can't tell you what to use your platform for. But as an Asian man, you're not in any position to talk on black issues because you are not black. You're an Asian man. Now, I understand and accept that colorism is endemic in Asian cultures, but you don't see me or any other black women talking about colorism in the Asian community because we don't belong to that community. And as black women and as black people, I feel personally, the things that are endemic in our culture, you're more in a position to discuss them because you're directly in it. You're affected by it. You've grown up in it. And honestly, I personally don't understand, but I took it a step further and I said to myself, do you know what, Toya? Maybe you're just irritated with one video. So I decided to watch all his videos where he talks about colorism or talks about black issues. And then I proceeded to read the comments underneath because I wanted to understand how other people are processing what he is saying. And I see a whole plethora of gaslighted women. They're all gaslit. And they've allowed this Asian man to gaslight them. And what they're not understanding is he's not a cultural psychologist. Yeah? I think he did psychology, neuroscience. Me too. I did A-level psychology. You don't see me professing to know what's going on in black women's minds or any other race's mind. I don't know what goes on in their mind. But my man has assumed this position that he is now powered, not by Duracell, powered by his degree or PhD, whatever he is, PH dummy, I don't know, whatever it is that he has acquired. But he feels that this is what now gives him the right to give us his opinion on black issues. I don't understand. I'm so confused. Someone make it make sense. For those people who don't know, B.A.M.E. stands for Black, Asian and Minority Ethnic. Now, already, we'll unpack that in a bit. I can't sit here and, other black people, have certain platforms to teach, educate, and demonstrate certain things to black people. My focus is black women. And then you've got somebody who is basically unpicking it by doing certain things and saying certain things, and it's all for views and it's all because of what's trending. And I'm getting sick and tired of watching people who are not black capitalizing on my blackness, to up his viewer count or to up his subscribers. And then I'm reading some of these messages and I'm thinking, some of these women are honestly still mentally enslaved, because you really do think an Asian man is going to part the ways, part the Red Sea and allow us to walk. Like, I don't understand. Like, are you not understanding that when you give somebody the right, the license to appropriate your culture, you do so without giving them boundaries, because when they're appropriating your culture, they do it in full, and therefore there are no boundaries that they will not overstep in that appropriation. But I don't actually blame him. I blame us as Black people, because instead of us, to take a stand and own what is ours, we are all but ready to allow somebody who is not equipped, because he is not Black. He is not equipped because he's not from the Black community. He's not equipped because he doesn't understand what it is to be a Black person in today's lifetime and society. But you equip this person to feel like he has the confidence to come and sit there and talk the things. And I'm about ready now to use my platform to say it. You guys know who I am already. Those who have followed me for a very long time. I do nothing for views, I had my stint at Fame. I closed that door and walked away. I'm not about that. I'm about Black women. I want Black women to win so much, because as a Black woman, I was told I was never going to win. In fact, I was told that success was not my portion. And I have been discriminated against. People have been colorist towards me. I have been bullied. I have been victimized, all in the workplace, only because I'm a Black woman. And yet, I've still strategically managed to navigate the world of work. And I have gone through the hot fires of the workplace. And then I decided that I would create this platform to make it easier for Black women to light the path of their success. If I tell them what I did, give them the almost the manual of workplace success and navigating the workplace to gain that success. I do it because I love Black women. I do it because I love Black people. I love the culture I belong to. It's not fair then that somebody who is not even part of the culture has the right to talk on things that he has never experienced. And then people are then clapping for him like Muppets, clapping for him as he oversteps the mark. And this is just a trending topic for him. The only time Black women now are trending for him is if something is trending, like the colorism this week or Black History Month. We are not a fad, We are not a hashtag. We are a community of people with a long history. And as we are navigating life, navigating work, navigating family, we are unpacking a lot of those things. Listen, when I was reading all the things that were trending this week, it was understanding other Black women's journeys in their Blackness and the colorism that they have experienced. I was triggered because I realized that there were things that I have gone through that I had not unpacked. The colorism that I hadn't unpacked that was targeted towards me by a fellow Black woman in my mother's church, basically asking me if me and my brothers had the same father because we're all different colors, or why is it that I don't look like my mum who's fairer skinned and I'm dark, that maybe when I get older I'll start looking like my mum. I had to deal with that because I was so triggered by those tweets. It pained me. And I realized, you know what? I've never actually spoken about the colorism that I have experienced as a young woman. The first time I was confronted with colorism, I was about 17. Before then, I didn't know anything about colorism because I'm not from that generation. We're not from that generation of social media. So the access to these things, it's not like now whereby you have to speak to your children about colorism because they're on social media, they're seeing certain things. So it's better you address it in your household and have those conversations so that they know how to deal with it outside in a big wide world. But it wasn't like that when I was growing up. I didn't grow up with social media. So it wasn't like I even knew that this woman was being colorist towards me. I didn't even know it was called colorism. I just saw it as she was just not being very nice, but she's Black, so she can't be racist. That's how I looked at it. But it's not that. This week, we've seen a lot of Black women triggered. And it's because what has happened this week has shaken and awoken the things that we have gone through. And when you think of colonialism, which I believe has created these things, it further re-emphasizes the pain as Black people that we're continuously going through. And part of breaking the cycle of pain is also telling people that license that was once given to you to appropriate our culture, we're having it back. These are the lines and the boundaries. Don't be afraid to gather someone when they overstep, especially when talking about race and making Black people feel like we're not equal to or enough because of the color of our skin. How is it that I can walk into an office and I'm employed to do a particular job and I'm in a meeting, so I've already been able to enter that room, but you want to talk to everybody in the room apart from me, but this is my project, and I know that everybody else in that room is white and I'm the only Black person? The amount of times I have had to be heard and force myself to be heard by asserting the fact that I had the right to even be in those rooms. Not now that somebody thinks that they have a right to then talk on something that they've never experienced. And let's call it what it is. You know, when you put us in the melting pot of B.A.M.E, what people are not understanding is, okay, B.A.M.E is collectively how you're going to describe Black people, Asians and ethnic minorities alike. But the reality is, as Black people, we do stand alone. We stand alone because when it comes to the line of privilege, especially in the workplace, Black people are at the bottom of that pecking order. Asian people are before us in that pecking order. Listen, I'm going to say this right now. One thing I love about Asian people is they will, one person gets in, they open the door for everybody. All the Asian people are like family, friends, they open the door. But Black people are not really like that. And I know where it comes from. Number one, we're even shocked that we're even allowed in that room. We're shocked that we're even acknowledged. Then what we do is then we hoard that. We hoard it for ourselves and we don't allow ourselves to bring each other in. This is why there's Toya Talks, because I'm bringing everybody in. We're sharing everything. We're all going together. There are so many Black people in our society that are doing things to lift the Black community, inspire and teach the Black community, and to break down the barriers that racism and cultural appropriation has created. Then I see somebody on YouTube reinforcing with their opinion stupidity and overstepping the mark on things that they're not allowed to talk. You're not allowed to talk about it. How about that? How about we use our voices to tell people, no, you're not really allowed to be overstepping the mark like that. Why can't we do that? But instead, we fight it within ourselves. And everybody else is watching us as Black people as we fight amongst each other, crush each other. And then we wonder why there's only one Black senior manager or one Black CEO or one Black hiring manager, when there should be many. I have come across so many educated Black people in my lifetime and the pride that I feel, but we're not penetrating certain sectors that we're supposed to be in. And then instead, what the press is reporting is that, coronavirus, there's a lot of B.A.M.E people, Black ethnic minorities alike, that are dying in droves in comparison to our white counterparts. That's what I'm hearing. And it's so sad that even during a pandemic, Black people are directly affected by this pandemic. And what saddens me the most is, since the papers or government has decided that that's what the stats are showing, then what are they proactively doing to manage that so that that's no longer the fact? But if it was all white people dying in the numbers that Black people are dying from this pandemic, I'm guaranteeing you right now, they'll start doing report, they'll do a strategic group, they do steering group, they do all these groups to find out what is going on. But instead, because it's Black people, because it's ethnic minority people, they don't put it in the press. It's like note to self, just to let you know. And it's like they just leave us there on the front line, and it is not fair. I digress. Firstly, I know I'm really passionate about this, and I'm passionate because as a Black woman, I'm speaking from a position of knowledge, yeah? As somebody who belongs in the Black community, I'm speaking from a position of passion because I know all too well, as many of us do, the struggles of a black woman. Let me make this very clear, yeah? Being married to a black person, having a black friend, having a best friend that's black, having an auntie's, uncle's, friend's, aunt's friend who is black, does not permit you or give you license to move mad. And moving mad is talking on the things that you are not supposed to be talking on and overstepping their marks. Don't let Kim Kardashian gas you, because you know Kim Kardashian appropriates everything because her man is black. But don't let her gas you into thinking that that's the way shit is done, because everyone's been calling her out too. Don't allow yourself to find yourself in a position where you're talking on things that are out of your depth. And this is my problem with Murad. I have no personal vendetta against him. I have no personal issue with him. But I will protect black women at all costs. We need to be protected at all costs. How about that? I'm tired of watching us being people's whipping board. I'm tired of it. When I want to crack jokes, black women. When I want to move mad, black women. When I want to chat shit, black women. We're done. Yeah? So there's no how that I could have a platform like this where I speak to black women, about black women, for black women, and then not talk about this topic. And I was always going to do this episode, but what pushed me to it was, you know, I recorded something on Snapchat and I saved it and put it up on the Toy Talks Instagram page and the Toy Washington Instagram page, my Instagram page. And a young lady reached out to me. She's been following me for a while. She's like, Toya, you know, you may, and I know why she said it, because she knows I'm not into the blogs, I'm not into the trending, that's not what I'm about. And anyone who knows me knows that. And she's like, Toy, I'm just letting you know that this could be a possibility. And I said to her, do you know what? I actually don't care. I actually don't care if that is the result. Because I'm speaking my truth, and this is my truth. And the maybe the emotion that you hear in my voice is because there's still a lot of pain. As black women, there's still a lot of pain. How can I walk into an office and you're throwing paper at me? How can I go to have my lunch in the canteen, my jollof rice, you're telling me my food stinks? How can you sit in my face and basically say to me, am I sure that I've acquired these qualifications, but there's my white counterpart sitting beside me, you've not asked that person that same question? It's almost like when they see black people doing well, being successful, it shakes them, like the demons inside of them get shaken. We've been through a lot, man. Come on. We've been through a lot. And I'm not sitting here saying no other culture's been through a lot. But again, it's the black culture and the black people and the black women in particular that get overlooked. Oh, there they go again. Oh, they're moaning again. Oh, here they go. No, it's not here they go again. And if it is here it goes again, it's because here you have gone again. And I'm done. I'm done with it. So yes, I am going to use this platform to speak on the things that need to be spoken about. And it is, you know, it's not necessarily, you know, about work in what the podcast is about. But when we're going to talk about the workplace, we have to talk about some of these black issues before we've even entered the workplace. Because let me tell you something. You see that your manager, Joanna, Karen, and Sarah, they're all unloading their baggage from home in that office. But black people, we are not taught, we are not raised to take our baggage into the office and dump it there. Because if we do, then we get called angry black women. If we do, we get called all types of names. So it's better that we start unpacking it before you get into that office. Because nobody in that office gives a damn about your history, where you've come from, where you've been, and how you got there. They don't care. So we need to do the unpacking. And I say this from a position of somebody who, you know, the workplace really beat me. The workplace beat me up in especially my early 20s. The workplace beat me up senseless, and there was a lot of unpacking that I had to do before I started now climbing the career ladder. Because the higher you go, the worse it is. It's just a different dynamic of racism, the different dynamic of oppression, and the different language of oppression. The higher you go in your career, believe me. Listen, they don't want to see us there. But we are the best. And we are the best at what we do. And this is why I always say to people, be a subject matter expert in what you do. They may not want you, but when you are best in class, they want the best. Therefore, they're going to select you. It's about what you do when you get there and how you navigate and move when you get there. Toya talks. Do you know how many times someone has sat in front of me and said, oh, you've done really well? And I would be like, for someone who what? Them underhanded compliments. Like, stop it. I just want to say, listen, Murad, I have no issue with you shedding a light on such things like colorism or whatever it is you're shedding the light on. But what I have a problem is when you give me your opinion on those issues that you're shedding a light on, that you're not in a position to give an opinion about because you are not a black person living and breathing in our culture and society. You are not that. Gossiping about such topics, is not being proactive. Being proactive is talking the truth about these things and shedding a light in the rooms where black people are not in, or the rooms we're not allowed to be in, or the rooms that we don't even know that exist, that we're supposed to be in, where they're talking the things that they shouldn't be talking. That's how you be proactive. And being proactive is consistent. It's not waiting for it to trend, then you jump in there with this, your cultural psychology. That's not what it is. People need to understand that switching on a camera and gossiping is not being proactive. There is a difference between shedding a light and speaking on factual things, facts, and say it as you've seen it, and then giving your opinion. Because this opinion is only informed by the fact that your friend is black, auntie's black, cousin's mum's friend's auntie's mum's friend is black, or your godchild is black. That doesn't make you black. It doesn't. Because I'm telling you now, if it was a choice that a white man had to pick, had to make, and they had to pick, then they don't pick us. They don't pick us. And it's irrespective on our qualifications, it's irrespective on whether we deserve to be there. They see our colour before they see anything else, and that already counts us out. And then we now have to do the work to rehabilitate ourselves and unpack all of that, and then get up in the morning and go back again to fight another day. So as I've been recording this, I've been made aware by my friends and a lot of my supporters on my various social media platforms that my discussion that I was having on Snapchat has actually gone viral. Insofar as a blog has picked it up and people are commenting, whatever, that's not the reason I did it. But I'm glad that a blog has picked it up, because I believe that this is an opportunity to talk on things that need to be spoken about. But what is more concerning, I've been told, because I haven't seen it myself, is a lot of the comments being left. And the majority of the comments are calling Murad an ally. And I seek issue with that, because I believe that people just take words and put them into sentences without understanding the full impact of the word that they're using. Or at least when they use the word ally, I genuinely believe that some people need to go into the English dictionary and find out what the word ally means. So I've gone on Google, ally. So in relation to what we're talking about, it says combine or unite a resource or commodity with another or mutual benefit. The countries that fought for Britain in the First and Second World War were allies. Okay, a state formally cooperating with another for a military or other purpose. The whole idea with the word ally and the common theme with that definition is working together. Now, my thing about calling Murad an ally is because off the back of that, they're making it seem like it's the second coming of Christ. But I want you to make me understand, how can Murad be an ally when he's not a black person who has gone through the things that we have gone through and shares the same historical history that we all do? You see what happens when you give people too much power and you allow them to appropriate your culture. They will start making money off the back of that appropriation. And when you see that they're making money, then you get angry about it, because suddenly you realise that you've given away the core value of what it is to be a black person. You've allowed somebody to overstep the mark and own what belongs to you, and now use you to capitalise on it for their own gain. And in Murad's case, it's for his own viewership, it's to be trending, it's to be consistent. And what pisses me off is the overstepping of the mark, and the allowance and the pass and the license is because he is an ally talking about it. And it's not, I think somebody said, one of my friends said that somebody had said, well, it's because black men are not talking about it. But my thing is, all these people getting gassed to defend this one man that thinks now he is the the leader of all things black culture. The same energy that you're using there to gaslight this man and to chat shit. Toya's being this, Toya's being that. This, and she was on Big Brother. All this energy, but you're not using this energy in your workplaces when the white man or the Asian man or the any man outside of the black person are using their position to oppress you, racially discriminate you, obstruct you, and stop you from being successful. You're not there using that your energy in the workplace, but it's that energy you're using for social media. You're not trying to affect change in your own life, but you're affecting gassing somebody on social media where you're not going to gain from it though. You're just there doing 5 and 6, 5 and 6. Stop being sheep. Stop being sheep and be honest. Be honest. He is not the voice of black people. I'm not the voice of black people. We collectively as black people are the voice of black people because we are living, breathing this oppression. We are living and breathing everything that is positive and negative in our community is on our shoulders and our head. It's all right for these people to come and dip in and dip out when they like. But at the end of the day, when they're dipping out, they're going back to their own community while they're allowing us to deal with the fundamental issues that we have to deal with to be able to flourish and actively participate in society. I would like you to tell me 5 things, 5 things Murad has done to proactively support black people and open the way and pave the way for black people. I want you to tell me 5 things. No. What he knows, he will go there and gaslight you lot, and you lot will gaslight him, reverse gaslighting. I don't understand. I'm not participating in it. If it makes me an enemy because I'm speaking the things, then I'm an enemy. But black people need to be responsible and stop being a bunch of village idiots where we're allowing people to come into our village, take and then go and use, you know what they do? They came into our country. Yeah, the white man came to our country. They took all that was good. And now if we want to get or see a piece of our culture, we have to go to the British Museum. That's what happens when you allow people to fundamentally have a license to appropriate what is yours. And then instead of us now to talk the truth and to speak on it, no, it's me and all these other black women and black people in society that speak the truth, that you're vilifying us and basically calling Murad an ally. But what has he done to educate, in my space, what has he done to educate black women about navigating the social aspects of work? What has he given? How has he used his platform to pave the way for black people? What has he done? He's created awareness. But as black people, are we not aware? We are already aware. We don't need you overstepping the mark and thinking that you now, because we have some people who are not, like, they're not allowing themselves to really look at this holistically. We are now giving him the opportunity. And what happens is clout chasers always get clouted by their clouting. That's what's going to happen. One day he's going to take it too far. And then everyone's going to go, rah, 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 start with their voices. Hey, oh my God. And I'm going to remind you all of this. Because I'm the villain today. No problem. The biggest problem, or one of the biggest problems we have in our black community is that we don't protect our spaces. And we're too ready to allow other people who we think are there to help us protect it. We're too willing to just give it to them with no recourse, no explanation. We just give it to them. And if we started protecting what is ours, we will start seeing riches in our soils. We'll start seeing riches in our community. But until we are ready to be honest and confront certain difficult conversations like the appropriation of black culture, like colorism, like oppression and the white construct of the workplace, and still until we are ready to have full and frank discussions and unpack a lot of those traumas as well, we are going to find ourselves in a position where we're going to have the uprising of a lot of people who are coming up and pretending to masquerade as people who are supporting a cause. But I don't believe in support just with mouth. I need some actions here. I need to be able to hold you accountable from the actions, and I'm not seeing any. And it just happens to be that today it's Murad because I've taken the time to go through his videos. I've taken the time to read the comments and I have a balanced view. My position is I just don't agree. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people who agree with me, have given me their opinions and stuff like that. But I can't have a platform like this and not speak on things like this and not bring awareness to where I think as a culture we're being appropriated and taken advantage of. But I don't speak about this in isolation. Like, I started speaking about B.A.M.E. And the issue that I have with B.A.M.E, yeah, is that whole acronym is a problem because it puts all Black, Asian, and ethnic minorities alike into one melting pot. But the fact is this: the racism that Black people face, the endemic discrimination and oppression and the structural degradation, yeah, of the Black empire that we want to build is corrupted by racism. And the fact is, the racism that Black people face and encounter is very different from all the other races. Very different. You only have to know and accept that in the order of hierarchy, Black people are always at the bottom. So when you say we are B.A.M.E and then you put us into one melting pot, you're basically trying to say is the experience of racism is all the same across all cultures, ethnic minority, Asians and Blacks. And that's not the truth. It is different. We know it's different. You only have to go into an organization and count the ratio between Black people, white people, Asians and ethnic minorities alike, and to know that there is clearly a tip in the scale on one side and it isn't towards the sides of Black people. I just want to put it on record here. I have no issue with someone being an ally, yeah? Because I believe this is not something we can do in isolation by ourselves, yeah? I have a problem when that person now defines what an ally is and then believes that the voice comes with being an ally. Like the voice of Black people doesn't come with being an ally. We need allies that are going to be proactive. I need actions. We need actions. This is not talking shop. We've been talking about this for too long. We've been mugged off for too long. I'm paying, yeah, to go to British Museum to have access to view my artifacts. Can you imagine? Oh, we're all brothers and sisters. We're all brothers and sisters. Cool. But for me, when I go to West Green Road and I see that the Asian community have monopolized West Green Road, or is it in Finsbury Park now? What they call that place? Where is the brothers and sisters there? Because that monopoly is excluding Black people. Like, if we're gonna call each other allies, like, let's do this thing properly, innit? Let's do this thing properly. You can't call us brothers and sisters when it suits you, and we're all ethnic minorities when it suits you. But then when Black people are dying in droves, or when Black people are discriminated against, or when Black people are targeted, we're looking around and we can't see them brothers and sisters of ethnic minorities. We can't see them. We can hear them, but we can't see them. And that seeing is, we need to see you being proactive in shining that light then, speaking as loud as we are too. I think, at the end of the day, I never wanted to... I'm not speaking about this to upset anybody. I'm not speaking on this to rattle anybody, but far too long we've been rattled. We are subdued into silence to be PC. I'm not PC. I want to see Black people flourish. I want to see everyone flourish, but I want Black women to flourish too. Because for so long, not only are we overlooked, it's almost like we are treated with such disdain. And people can talk about, the issue of unpacking how Black men see Black women. It needs another episode to even be able to unpack it. And I don't think it's something I can unpack by myself because, again, I'm not a Black man. So I can't tell you the viewpoint of Black men. I can't. Or tell you what I think the viewpoint of, because I'm not a Black man. So I would need to sit in a room with a Black man and say, hey, these are some of the issues. What are your opinion? What do you generally think? Have those type of conversations. Because that is informed and understanding that I don't have the power of a Black man to speak on Black man issues. I'm under no illusion. This is such a massive topic, and I'm sure there's things that I wanted to talk about and haven't had the opportunity to talk about. Keep the conversation going. My Twitter handle is Toya_W. My Instagram pages are Toya_talks or Toya_Washington. Snapchat is Toya Washington, all one word. I just want to thank everybody who not only listens to the podcast, but has reached out to me. Even today, like, people have reached out to me, offering their support, sharing their opinions. and being all round positive. It's a very, very peculiar time. Everybody is trapped inside their houses. People are moving mad. On a normal basis, people move crazy. But now we are in a situation where we are in a lockdown situation, and a lot of people are not coping very well. I know I've had bouts of situations where I just, have not coped very well. But equally, I feel like, it's important to have difficult conversations so they're no longer difficult. And I continue to teach and educate and, assist Black women in navigating the world of work. And I will continue using my platform for Black women. Black women, I love you. I love you guys so much. And I think that collectively as Black women, we are just so strong. And I think a lot of the trauma and a lot of the things we're unpacking on a daily basis is so that we can be better, so that we can grow stronger, so we can learn from and make sure that as the younger generation comes up, we're allowing them to have the tools to express themselves and to understand that there's certain things that they will have to deal with. It's our responsibility to teach people who are not from our community and don't understand what our issues are, but it's not their story to tell, it's ours. So before I draw this episode to a close, I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the comments, or more like messages. People have been seeking me out on Instagram and deciding to send me messages. But instead of them to send an email to their boss to have a meeting about their progress in their workplace, oh, no, we're not doing that. Don't get it twisted. I've had some really lovely messages from people, but it's people sending me this negativity, and then I don't know what they want me to do with it, because shall I put you in the bin? I don't really understand what I'm supposed to do with your very clear ignorance. So people have been like, at the end of the day, Murad is an ethnic minority man and he's shining a light. Okay, cool. So when he shines the light, then what happens afterwards? Is the light still on? Just give me the light. I don't understand. What happens proactively? Shining light, and then what? And this is the point, isn't it? Because we think that if we allow people to talk reckless, they're shining a light, but then they're not using that light to proactively go to spaces and create spaces or awareness in certain spaces, because I've not seen any of it. And I stand to be corrected. Don't correct me. Thank you. Someone said that what I said was a pile of shit, but instead of you to take the crustaceans out of your eye, you don't want to do that, but to always talk his shit. Do you know what the crazy thing is? Whenever a Black woman or Black people talk about things that are uncomfortable, we're either chatting shit or we're walking towards the stereotype of, especially if you're a Black woman, angry Black women. Those stereotypes are so boring. Everybody gets angry. But the point is, I'm not angry. I have no need to be angry, but I have every need to be disappointed and use my platform to share that disappointment. And wherever it ends up, it ends up. But the reality is this: you can continue to be ignorant. And those who don't hear, well, they say you don't hear, wipe the wax out of your ears and go and learn something. Oh, but at the end of the day, he's an ally. Well, we've discussed the ally thing. I need you guys to understand what the definition of ally is, because your ally is very self-serving. I also want to address this because I'm hearing that people are bringing up the fact that I was on Big Brother. That was my experience. I enjoyed it. The point of the matter is, my experience with Big Brother isn't as everybody else's, because I had a lot of grief that I had to deal with. But also as well, everybody who has sent me negativity, protect. No one protected me. I faced so much discrimination on social media, in certain studios where I was at. I faced so much disrespect because of the colour of my skin. And I've never gone into any detail. Well, we're going to do that. Yes, Toy Talks Live, we're going to do that. We're going to talk about it, because until we're ready to have those discussions and deal with it, how can you then go into the workplace and then be strong enough to deal with sometimes disrespectful and discrimination and racism in the workplace? You have to be able to unpack it outside of those constructs. Do you understand? And I am very proud of my career. I'm very proud of all the things I've achieved. And Big Brother is one of those achievements. So when someone says, oh yeah, she was on Big Brother, Yeah, but the point at hand isn't Big Brother. The point at hand is we have somebody who is overstepping the mark in terms of the things that he discusses about black women and colorism, and it needs to be checked. I think that he realizes this because I received a message from someone basically saying to me that he uploaded a video today about discrimination on TikTok towards Asian people. Exactly. You're lame. Exactly. I can't talk about that because I don't know. Because I'm not speaking from an informed position. But as an Asian man, you're talking about that because you understand it on a deeper level because you are from that community. Let it be known now, because I know some people come here and they're not listening to what I'm saying. Shining a light is very different to overstepping. It's very, very different. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't want to hear anyone outside of being black about their opinions about colorism and our experiences, the very experiences they haven't experienced themselves. And I will continue to say it. Racism that black people encounter is very different from the racism that other races encounter. It's very, very, very different. And to even dissect it, I don't even think we'd have enough time to do it. We wouldn't have enough time to do it here. But you guys know what I talk about when I talk about that racism is different within the black community. And it's different, some of it deep-rooted in colonialism, but a lot of it is deep-rooted in the fact that when it comes to structures and the way structures are built, it was not built with black people in mind. Another comment that I had was, heard enough of your poo. Freedom of speech. Opinions are like arseholes. Everybody has that here. So my response to him is, today is Sunday, the day of the Lord. I don't have time to entertain the devil's chosen one. Take a break. But look at that message. When I was reading it, believe me when I read these type of messages, I just shake my head, because a lot of women that have responded negatively to me have been black women. And I need these black women to understand, listen, I know that you have seen and you've anointed Murad as your chosen one. I don't have an issue with that. But even you have to create boundaries in your own lives. And part of creating those boundaries in your own lives is creating boundaries around you to protect you. Like, protect the black women. We need to protect ourselves. Protect what is ours. This is what people think of us. But when there's that so-called hair that we're gluing to our head, they're happy to take our money though. They're happy to take the money. But it's just, there are certain things that it's so entrenched in racism. And it's a sad state where I'm watching social media go for and try to cut off Nella Rose. Let me tell you something. As far as I'm concerned, and I say this out loud, the things Nella Rose says was just unacceptable. She knows that. But condemning her and cancelling her is not going to solve the issue. At least she was bold enough to say that some of her thoughts are rooted in self-hate. At least she was bold enough to be honest enough. And that's one thing I like about her, is her ability to just see herself and be honest. But there was a lot of black men that were speaking the things. They didn't get half of the abuse. They didn't get half of the redress. They didn't get half of anything that black women got for saying those things. And I believe if you're going to shout at one, you shout at all. But there is a reality here. There's a lot of work that still needs to be done. And it's not going to be Murad that's going to do that work. It is going to be black people ourselves that are going to do the work. Stop arming people with the ability to overstep and disrespect us. Because when you do that, you do not allow us to grow. You do not allow us to have the opportunity to take and define what is ours. Big Brother doesn't define me. What I'm defined by are the things and the legacy that I'm creating. What defines me is making sure that I use my platform and my voice to support black women. What defines me is my ability to be able to help black women struggling in the world of work and navigating the social aspects of work. What defines me is everything that is good in me. That's how I choose to define myself. If you want to define me because I was on Big Brother, more for you. And equally, it's too much responsibility to give to someone to claim the glory for finding the solution. The solution is us as black people, as black women. We are the solution. We have the solution. Are we ready now to start unpacking the things and really have frank conversations with ourselves and each other? I'm going to leave you guys with this. When this pandemic started getting underway and gathering momentum, I have a friend who's actually Chinese. And for the purposes of protecting identity, we're going to call her Anna. And Anna rang me. She says, she was a bit flustered. She says, Toya, this is getting out of hand now. Like, I know the pandemic allegedly started in China. As a Chinese woman, I'm now encountering forms of discrimination, be it on the train. She goes, I can't even clear my throat. People are literally abusing me in shops. And it's because I'm Chinese and because of this pandemic. She then said to me, she says, there's this petition about not being discriminatory towards Chinese people or something. Can you sign the petition? And I think at that point, there was going to be like some type of protest or whatever. I don't know because I never clicked on it. Anyway, she said to me, oh, I'm going to send it to you. Would you mind? So I said, Anna, she said, yeah. I'm a black woman. You know that, right? She said, yeah. I goes, when have you ever used your voice or just you as a person to support me in defending a lot of the times when I have been discriminated against that I've shared with you? Or my Toya Talks event where, yes, it's two black women and for me, I talk to black women because I'm a black woman, but I have other friends who are from different races who came down to support me. And more importantly, it's not necessarily turning up. It's even having conversations with me as a friend and hearing me and hearing a lot of my pain. But now you've experienced a little bit of racism because of what's happening at the moment. You now think it's now my role as your friend to play protector. But when have you protected me? If we're going to speak woman to woman here, when have you protected me as your black female friend who goes through racism, has been through it and shared experiences? You've worked in an office with me before where you've watched me be racially discriminated against because you've professed it yourself. What did you even do in them situations? But now it's affecting you. And now you're realizing that, racism is actually, not only is it real, but it's destructive. Now you want the black woman to come and support you. And she said, I never looked at it like that. I said, well, it's easy to not look at it like that, is it? Because society as a whole trivializes what black people go through, trivializes the black woman and what the black woman goes through. But when they need us, when they need to utilize us or appropriate what we have, we're all one human race. I'm so sorry, Anna, that you're going through this because it's horrible. And I will always be your friend here to come and support you. You can talk to me about anything. But if you think now I'm gonna use myself as your, support system as you go on these protests or these alleged protests, it's never gonna be me. It's never gonna be me, babe. The same reasons why you don't turn up for me in those times is the same reason I can't turn up for you. These are your issues that you're dealing with. Because when it came to my racism and it came to discrimination, I didn't see you, babes. But I'm going to be better than that and say I'm here for you. But you can't see me because I'm still trying to unpack the racism that I've been through in the past and still going through. My dear, I said to her, I've got to go now. I've got work in the morning. And that's how that conversation ended. I haven't heard from Anna until I messaged her today to say, I'm going to use that conversation as an example, my podcast. Do you oppose? And she says, no, I don't oppose it. I was like, thank you. Make it make sense, people. Make it make sense. Whew, that has been a long episode, but one that was needed and one that I've enjoyed delivering to you guys. As you guys know, I've got a Toy Talks live event coming on the 11th of July, 2020. The tickets are out. There's only a few tickets remaining. Obviously, with this pandemic and everything, I'm monitoring the situation. I will be having a conversation with the venue in a couple of weeks' time to make sure that this can still go ahead. Obviously, it also depends on what the government's directives are about easing lockdown and what that will entail for organisations or the space that I'm using in terms of how many people can be gathered in one place. Now, I have said this before, I'll say it again. I do have a provisional date in October that I could move this to, depending on what happens this week. But if I have to move the date, anyone who has bought a ticket will be offered a refund if they can't make that date. And obviously then we'll just take it from there. But for now, it is on the 11th of July 2020 until otherwise notified. Of course, you know my social media handles: Twitter, Toya_W, Instagram, it's Toya_talks, or my personal Instagram page is Toya_Washington. My Snapchat handle is Toya Washington, all one word. I want to thank every one of you for listening. Thank you all for the reviews and the positivity that you sent my way. God bless you all. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. My name has been Toya Washington, and you have been listening to the Toya Talks podcast.